Good day everyone and welcome to today's chemistry class. My name is Ebukadu. Last class we had water. Today we are going to be looking into solution, and in our subsequent class we'll be looking into solubility. So what is solution? Solution is an homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. What is homogeneous? Homogeneous means a substance that is consistent or uniform throughout its volume. A sample taken from any part of homogeneous substance will have same characteristics as a sample taken from another area of the same substance. That is, solid particles can dissolve permanently in the solvent particles. This type of mixture is called a true solution, unlike a heterogeneous mixture, which is a false solution. You get that? Now, a solution may exist in any phase. It consists of a solute and a solvent. Like in our last class, when I was giving a definition of solution, I said it is a mixture formed when one or more solutes dissolve in a solvent. As you can remember. Now, what is a solute? A solute is a dissolved substance, which may be a solid, liquid, or gas. In our last class, we used sugar as a solute. While a solvent is a substance, usually a liquid, although it may be a solid or gas. That means it depends on the kind of mixture we are bringing together. It depends on the kind of two substances we are bringing together. Either it is solid to solid, or solid to gas, or gas to liquid. So it depends on any of these substance, any of these solvents we are using, which dissolve a solute. Now, for example, a solution is formed when a solid such as crystal of copper 2 tetraoxosulfate 6 dissolved in a liquid such as water to produce a homogeneous mixture. Now this is it here. This is copper 2 tetraoxosulfate 6, and this is the solution. This is when it is being added to water. You can see it here. Now it will give us, this is the equation here, CuSO4 plus 5H2O. It is going to give us a copper sulfate. This is it. This is the final solution it is giving us. And this is a pure homogeneous mixture, because we can see through it and it dissolves in the water. Now, when we say homogeneous, that means whatever the solute is, it will dissolve permanently in the solvent, which is water, any liquid they are using. So the solid is called the solid. The solid is called the solute. That means the copper tetraoxosulfate 6 is called the solute, and the liquid is called the solvent. That means the water is called the solvent. Now the solution is giving us copper sulfate hydrate. Now let's go to water as a universal solvent. Now in our last class, while I was defining water, I told you water is actually one of the most important liquids in human life. It consists 70% of human system. It is essential for human beings, living organisms, and its immediate environment. Now it is very important as a universal solvent too, in dissolving any solute. Water is called universal solvent because it can dissolve more substance than other liquids. Fine, we have other liquids that are solvent that dissolve, but water has the most percentage of dissolving substance. Now, here I put it up that the most common solvent in nature is water. It is usually referred to as the universal solvent. Water molecule has a structure which is polar in nature. That is, one side is having positive charge and the other is having negative charge. If you could remember in our last class, I told us while defining water that it has two atoms. It has two atoms coming together. That is hydrogen atom, two hydrogen atoms and one oxygen atom. But last time I didn't tell us that the hydrogen atom is positively charged while the oxygen atom is negatively charged. That makes it a polar. Now, let's continue here now. That is, one side of the molecule is positive. This is it here. That is the hydrogen being positive, and the other side is negatively charged. As a result of this polarity, water is an excellent solvent for electrovalent solids, such as mineral salt, mineral acid, and base. Because of the polarity, because of one side being positively charged and the other side being negatively charged, it is referred to as an excellent solvent, because no matter the solute or whichever solute you are using, it is either carrying a negative charge or a positive charge. And if it is carrying both charges, then water can actually dissolve it. If it is carrying one of the charges, water will dissolve it, because water has two charges. It has two different charges, positive and negative charges. Now, let's continue. All gases too can dissolve in water to some extent. Not only solid can dissolve in water. Some gases too can actually be dissolved in water. Besides, these gases can dissolve in water to some extent. Gases which ionize in solution are found to be very soluble. For example, we have ammonia. Ammonia is used in production of biscuit. So they can easily dissolve in water without knowing. We have hydrogen chloride and we have nitrogen oxide. Gases which do not ionize in water at all, use only sparingly soluble, which are carbon dioxide, oxygen, and hydrogen. If you agree with me that all of these non-ionizing gases cannot dissolve in water. We cannot dissolve oxygen in water. We cannot dissolve carbon dioxide in water. But we can dissolve ammonia in water. We can dissolve hydrogen chloride in water and nitrogen oxide. All of these two are gases. If you go back to the definition of solution I gave, I said it depends on the type of mixture you are bringing together. It depends on the type of species of mixtures you want to have, either gases to liquid, liquid to gas, solid to liquid. So we have some gases that can easily be dissolved in water. Likewise, we have some that are not easily dissolved in water, which cannot even dissolve at all in water. Now let's move on to type of solution. We have different solutions depending on the type of solid and solvent you want to use. Any two substances which can be evenly mixed may form a solution. That means which are two solutions, which are homogeneous solutions. Materials, that is, materials of different phase may combine to form a solution. The end result exists of a single phase. Now look at water and sugar. Now sugar and water can actually go hand in hand, can actually dissolve. Water can actually dissolve sugar. That is when they can be evenly mixed. That is when there are two solutions. That is when they are homogeneous solutions, which remain consistent in their volume. So sugar can be dissolved in water to give us a sugar solution, which is an aqueous state, which will be in an aqueous state. Now, if you look at it very well, look at the color of the water and look at the sugar. Now look at the color of the given up there. You see that they mix together, but they are not separate. They can mix together. They can form a true solution. They are homogeneous in nature. They remain together. One will not be up and the other will be down, like heterogeneous, like pouring water into petrol or pouring petrol, dissolving petrol with water. So those are heterogeneous. They cannot form. They cannot go hand in hand. They cannot go together. So now we have types of solution here. We have brass, which is in a solid state and solid solvent. Now look at it here. This is solution, this is solid, and this is solvent. This is their state. Zinc is in a solid state, which is a solid, while solvent is in a solid state, which is a copper. That means solid state for solid state will give us a brass solution. Now, if you look at brine, this is brine solution here. It is sodium chloride, which is a solid, and water. That is solid water solution will give us brine. Soda water carbon 4 oxide, which is gas, and water will give us soda water solution. Oxygen, which is a gas, and nitrogen, which is a gas, will give us air solution. Alkanol, which is liquid, and water, which is liquid, will give us antifreeze. So it depends on the type of solution you are bringing together. Like I said, you can use solid to solid, you can use solid to liquid, you can use gas to liquid, you can use gas to gas, you can use liquid to liquid. All of these depend on the type of mixture we have to give us the solution we want. Now let's round it up with characteristics of the solution. A chemical solution exhibits several properties, such as a solution consists of a homogeneous mixture. That is their true nature. They consist a true mixture of solvent and solid, and they remain constant. The solution is composed and can exist in solid, liquid, and gaseous state. Like I said, it depends on the type of solution you want to make. You can either combine solid and solid and liquid and gas together. They can exist in any of these three phases. A solution does not scatter a light beam. That is, solution is transparent. A true solution, a homogeneous solution, is transparent. It allows light to pass through, unlike heterogeneous or colloid, which are false solutions. They do not allow light to pass through them. Now, to the last property, we have component of this solution cannot be separated using simple mechanical filtration. That is, mixture of a solution, solvent plus solid, either in liquid, solid or gaseous state, cannot be separated using this simple method of filtration, but distillation. For example, if you put sugar and water together, we cannot use river to sieve the sugar out of the water. It is not possible, because they are true properties, they are true solutions. They will remain constant and they will remain together. So they cannot be easily separated using a simple filtration. For as a matter of fact, you can use distillation to separate them. So this is our takeaway for today, and we will be glad if you can answer them and give us feedback on it. Why is water referred to as a universal solvent? Explain the phase of solution that occurs in water and salt. What is an homogeneous mixture? Give an example of a solid to solid phase solution. Thank you.